Here, Jorge Soler again is signed up at the deal. Here it is, Jeff Passan putting this out. Soler and the Giants in agreement, 3 years, $42 million. He actually opted out of the final year of his contract with the Marlins to sign this deal. He's going into his age 32 season. Soler going to San Francisco, mostly as a DH. Yeah, we're going to kick this around a little bit. So Soler is, in many ways, a typical free agent for this season in 2024, meaning he is mercurial. We use that word a lot for the offseason. Mercurial like Cody Bellinger, like Blake Snell. The ceiling is high, but the performance is up and down. Let's do a little digging in on Jorge Soler. Jorge Soler's high ceiling came in his fantastic 2019. He played all 162, hit a Royals record 48 home runs, slugging .569. Since he played every single game, he finished with 335 total bases that year. That's a very big number. So he had that great year, and he was pretty good again last year. Last year, he hit 36 home runs, played very well, overall slugging .512. The OPS plus 100 is league average, OPS plus. He came in with a 128. You see right there in 2019, .569 slugging, the OPS plus 100 being league average, 137. So that's fantastic. The problem is you got 3 years in between there where he's below league average. League average is 100, 99 is below league average. So what are you buying? 2019, 2023, or those 3 years in between? We're not sure. And for Soler to be a good player, he has to hit. He played just 32 games in right field last year, starting mostly at DH. When he was in right field, he was -5 in defensive runs saved. That's below league average. In 2021, he played 96 games in right field. He was -11 defensive runs saved. He's going to be 32. He doesn't field. He's a below-average base runner. The Giants are buying a DH. Here's the good news, though. Getting a little deeper into his hitting, his process numbers are quite good. Last year, his WOBA, weighted on base average, and his ex-WOBA, expected weighted on base, are nearly the same. Again, ex-WOBA is the expected weighted on base given the quality of your contact. He was 14th in baseball last year in expected weighted on base and barrel percentage. And you see the names that are right near him. That's impressive. He hits the ball very hard. How often do you barrel up the ball and hit the ball hard, say 98 miles an hour and harder? So, fellas, the Giants are buying a 32-year-old mercurial hitter, but one whose high end is very attractive. Give us your thoughts.
I love this. I love the idea that now you bring in Jorge Soler because for the Giants, there hasn't been a right-handed hitter since 2002 that's hit more than 30 home runs. That was Jeff Kent back in 2002. So to bring in some right-handed pop is really important in the middle of the order. And I love the idea that now you have a guy that teams may be a little bit scared of, right? You haven't had that guy in a long time, especially from the right-handed side. We've seen Lamont Wade Jr. be able to produce. You bring in another lefty in Jung-Hoo Lee. Wilmer Flores had a decent year last year from the right side, but that's not a guy that you're really trying to pitch around. I think they brought the right guy for right-handed pop in this lineup.
I agree with you, X. I mean, when you look at Soler, had a great year in 2023, All-Star, all that stuff, but I think when you go out to San Francisco there, that ballpark is not hitter-friendly. You got to be able to drive the ball out of that ballpark. And to get a guy like Soler, you talk about the righties. What about Bonds is the last guy, I think, to hit 30-plus home runs in 2004. So it's been a long time since they've had a bona fide slugger. Even if, BK, he is your DH, so be it, man. This guy can hit, and he's still putting up big numbers, 36 home runs last year in 137 games. So at least it gives your lineup some thunder.
I'm torn on this because, in general, I don't like buying corner outfield DHs at age 32. However, you guys are right. They're light. There's not a lot of weight there. Conforto did not. I think he was hitting league average last year. So to bring in Soler, the possibility of 36 homers, a .500 slugging percentage is tremendous. By the way, I have an answer for that. We actually looked that up. Our research department got on it. 32 of his 36 home runs that he hit last year would have been out in San Francisco. So he hits the ball far enough that his home runs are just home runs, even in San Francisco, because normally that power could be blunted in that ball.
Well, that's huge, too, and obviously San Francisco knows that. They know that stat. But you're right. When Soler hits him, he hits him far. I mean, he's a true power guy.
Should they keep buying? I mean,
yes.
Have they not done enough? Because, I mean, they're not good enough right now. I'm looking at him and looking. You're not as good as the Diamondbacks. You're not close to the Dodgers. But you need to catch the Diamondbacks. You need to be better than the Padres. Padres and then be as good as the Phillies and the Cubs and grab a wild card? Should they keep buying, or do you think they should compete the way they are now?
No, they have to keep going. And I look at this team, they could use some more pitching depth, right? I look at Blake Snell. He would, Cy Young winner from last year, he would be huge in this rotation, especially because you have some guys that won't be available. Robbie Ray until late. Alex Cobb won't be available until late. And they traded a couple of guys, too. Don't forget that, too. So now you have a rotation that's a little light. Jordan Hicks is another question mark because you don't know what you're going to get out of him from a starting standpoint. So if I can go out and get some more starting pitching depth, that's going to help me big time. And also, Matt Chapman, you mentioned a little bit earlier, he could be someone that could help that middle of the order thunder that they need.
Matt Chapman makes sense to me. I think that's another bat. You're getting a Gold Glove third baseman. He's been with Bob Melvin out when they were out there in Oakland together. So Chapman signing would be huge because then you land Chapman and you land Soler. But I'm with you, X, man. At the end of the day, if you want to compete out there in the West, a guy like Snell, a frontline starter, a guy you can put in that rotation for years to come, that would be a great sign for them.
I want to button this up. Like Lourdes Gurriel signed almost an identical deal, the total dollars anyway, 3 years for $42 million. He's also not a world beater. He's more of an all-around player. Soler's more of the hitter. But again, the price is the same. Like I have to even get in my head, $14 million a year is not top-end dollars.
Right.
It's middle class, if you will.
Yeah.
It's real money. But it is like you're not busting the bank at $14 million. You can get lots of guys at $14 million in today's payroll scenario.
And so Larry, to you guys' point too, is the power is going to play. And I think that was the biggest thing for the Giants is who can we bring in to where their power is not going to be minimized when you come to this part because it's tough to hit homers there.